Let the record reflect it is Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. Village clock has it at 6:04 PM. Sorry for the delay there. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Brennan?
Present.
Trustee Mahoney is absent. Trustee Mueller?
Here.
Trustee Shaw?
Present.
Trustee Sullivan?
Here.
President Glatz is also absent.
Very good. We have a quorum. Item number 3, consider approval of the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting held on September 5th, 2023. Is there such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Sullivan. Thank you, Trustee Brady. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 3, Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion carries. Item number 4, discuss amendment to a purchase and sale agreement with GSB Development LLC for the property at 7551 191st Street. Pat?
Thanks, Trustee Brennan. What you have in front of you is an amendment, first amendment to this agreement. If you remember, we purchased that property from Lincoln Way High School District. We sold that property to GSP Development. What this amendment does is it affects the potential resale. When they resell it, we had in the previous section 1516 that they could only sell it over a certain amount. We would get a percentage of the difference of the price of the 1.7. Since they're making improvements to the land and a lot of development improvements, it'll be very costly. We removed that section out there so they could get the deal done quicker. And then also in the 1517, as it relates to the buyback clause in there, allowing us to buy it back if something doesn't happen in 2 years.
Okay. Very good. Any questions from the board? I see none. Is there a motion to move item number 4 to the village board?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Trustee Mueller. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Trustee Shaw. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 4, Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries. Item number 5, discuss Oak Park Avenue Train Station License Agreement with Crema Coffee. Carolyn?
Thank you. The village published a request for qualifications for the purpose of selecting a qualified vendor to provide food and beverage services at the Oak Park Avenue train station in April. Crema Coffee Roasters submitted a business proposal and was selected for consideration as a vendor at the Oak Park Avenue train station. Crema Coffee Roasters will offer an assortment of specialty coffees, teas, and lemonades, along with breakfast and lunch sandwiches, toasts, salads, and grab-and-go items. They will not only serve the Metro commuters, but also the entire community, and plan to be involved in all of the village events. Ms. Casey Whittaky, who's here with us today, she's the owner, and she currently has 2 successful Crema locations located in downtown Plainfield and downtown Lockport. She also owns and operates a wine and cheese company in Plainfield and Oak and Bean in Oswego. She's also a member of the Tinley Park Chamber of Commerce, and she participated in the Brew and Vine event earlier this year. Her years of experience and passion for community make her an excellent candidate for the Oak Park Avenue train station. We are requesting consideration for approval of the proposed 5-year non-exclusive license agreement with Crema 4 LLC, doing business as Crema Coffee Roasters at the Oak Park Avenue train station, and to be moved to village board tonight.
Excellent. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No, I like all the experience she brings. I think this is awesome. I checked their menu out. Looks extremely tasty. So I'll let open up to the rest of the board.
So glad to have you part of our team here. That's great. Thank you for coming.
Any other questions, comments?
No, I'll just say, I know that there wasn't a lot of bids, but the bid that we did receive was fantastic. Female business owner with a lot of success elsewhere and exactly perfect for this location. So very excited to have this on the board tonight.
Yeah, I was happy to see this come so quickly on the agenda. So I was looking at your other locations, and looks like a great place and offers a great menu. And it was nice to see the extended hours that were, going into the lunch hour. So Looking forward to voting on this later today.
Very good. Thank you, trustee Sullivan.
I'll just say that when I looked it up myself, and I have a brother and a sister, both out in Plainfield area, and they said that they have frequented it there and really like the vibe, the atmosphere. So I'm also looking forward to it. I'm glad we could move forward with this quickly.
Very good. Would you guys like to address the committee?
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
No, they're the silent partners.
Very good. Well, is there a motion to move item number 5 to the village board?
I will make that motion.
Thank you,
second it.
trustee Sullivan. Thank you, trustee Brady. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Roll call for item 5, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney? Oh, sorry. Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries. Item number 6, discuss renewal contract with Onsolve LLC for emergency notification software, which is our Code Red. Anthony, you want to take it?
Not too much to add here, but basically pretty basic annual renewal for the emergency communication software. So this reaches out to both internal will use it for communications with fire, police, EMA, and also it is the application used by the dispatch center when there is emergency notifications such as search or missing persons, that sort of thing, where the public can subscribe to it. The $21,561.25 is just for the 1-year annual renewal on it.
Very good. Thank you, Anthony. Any questions?
I just have one question. What is the turnaround time from the time the notice is given to the village and the time it gets put out to the public?
So I don't use it nearly as much as other people throughout the village do use it. So there's multiple ways that the software can reach out to people. It can literally make a phone call. It can send a text message. It can send an email. So it's highly dependent on a lot of factors that aren't ours. So as soon as we send the message, it's capable of being received, but obviously it's going to be dependent on Verizon or T-Mobile or AT&T to get it to you. So the carriers know this sort of service is not something that they should throttle. So typically it gets there as fast as a text message can get there, but it's really dependent on the carriers themselves to make sure that it gets in a timely manner.
Okay.
Once we hit send, it's kind of beyond our control.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Any other questions?
No,
Fair enough.
very valuable service, so.
Yes. Just got it the other day.
Is there a motion to move item number 6 to the village board meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, trustee Mueller. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Sullivan. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 6, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony.
Very good. Motion carries. Item number 7, discuss transfer stamp requirements. Jarrell?
Yep, so what we got in front of you tonight is going to be, we're proposing a change from our current change of owner process that currently only covers commercial and multifamily property transfers. This leaves the residential and vacant property transactions unregulated, which often leads to unforeseen issues, financial burdens on new residents. Commercial property owners are often notified of violations, fees owed only after the transfer is concluded. So the transfer stamp, we're essentially just aiming to get ahead of it and make sure that before a deed is recorded, that all of the fines, fees, building permits, anything like that is verified before a property changes hands in the village. The biggest thing is going to be, it helps us in our internal processes where we generally have a problem keeping up with owners of record. And so it just gives the village a little bit more teeth to sink into being able to actually have a good idea of what's going on in the village. The proposed cost is going to be about $2 per every 1,000 in value, which comes out to an average of $200 to $300 per stamp. which it's not intended to be a huge revenue driver. We're not intending it to, become a new revenue stream for the general fund. It's just gonna be something out there to kind of compensate for staff time and also ensure that new residents aren't feeling a burden as they come in with the village. Also, this change was recommended through a Baycore analysis that will be, who is going to be our they're our implementation specialist for our new ERP software that's going to be going village-wide. The transfer stamp process is a little bit more of a better fit and more of a turnkey approach than the change of use process currently is.
It'll be tied to that software being implemented as well, so I think that was in the memo.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But, just because we don't want to implement a new process in our old system and waste a bunch of time, this is something that with any of the softwares we're selecting is pretty much something that comes out of the box ready, where our change of use, change of owner process is something pretty unique to Tinley Park and doesn't exist elsewhere and would have to kind of be custom made. So this will be we're asking for this to become active essentially when the new software goes active. So the big thing is, one, making sure that basically violations and the money doesn't get stuck on, that's owed on properties, stuck on new property owners, that this really puts the emphasis on the seller to make sure their property doesn't have water bills, doesn't have liens, doesn't have violations, things like that. So it really puts the onus on the seller, the person leaving the village, to make sure their property is brought up to code. We have a lot of problems with uncollected money that is very difficult to collect after the fact, which is kind of what happens now. So I'll leave it to finance to shake their head yes to that, is there's a lot of money that's kind of being left out there that this will help. Additionally, we've had a couple situations of illegal property transfers in subdivisions. And so this would also prevent that, because you can't sell your backyard to your neighbor, which is literally part of your backyard to your neighbor, which has happened before. And luckily, we haven't had that make any major issues. It didn't make an illegal lot or anything like that, but this will help catch that as well. So it's kind of a big change, but it's really just a better system. It's a more common system than what we're currently doing, which leads to a lot of problems.
When is this fee paid?
Yeah, so
Is
it's
it paid-
going to be paid prior to the recording of the deed.
Okay, so it's got to be paid by the seller of the property? Do they have to come into Village Hall to?
So what they would do is they'll fill out a declaration form, which needs to be received at least 3 days prior to the scheduled closing. And then that would start a 72-hour trigger at that point, that we need to go ahead and make sure that we're verifying all fines, fees, water bills, building permits, any type of outstanding violations that might be out there are rectified. Now, buyers can choose to take on these issues if they so choose to, with the exception of fees that are owed. If there's outstanding money owed to the village, we do kind of want to get ahead of that and try to make sure we can collect on the front end there. But anything else, they can fill out an affidavit if they feel as though it's going to delay anything.
Okay. Thanks, Earl. Any questions for?
I have a couple questions. I didn't see it in the memo. I
Yes.
may have missed it. I just want to clarify, the liability for ours is being proposed to be put on the seller.
That is
right?
correct. It's on the seller.
Okay. Is there, does the village have a right to stop the transfer if it's not cleared? How does that work? Like, let's
yeah,
say,
so
let's say
what-
there's, substantial money owed or something.
Yeah, so what would happen is we would not issue our transfer stamp, whether it's a rubber stamp or a sticker, whatever the case may be, and then the county recorder's office or Will County Recorder's Office would know not to record that deed, and the property couldn't legally change hands until they get the stamp from us.
Okay.
And
Is
there
that-
are certain exceptions to that'll be built in. So there's things like court orders, even if there's like foreclosure, tax sales, things like that we don't really have that ability to stop it. That'll be exceptions to this, that wouldn't necessarily need to do that. So the transfer between family members can happen, things that just kind of automatically have that right. But if there's money owed to the village and they don't want to pay it, they wouldn't get the transfer stamp. So,
Okay.
unless somebody takes responsibility to either pay it or taken out themselves.
Since this is a bit of a short turnaround, 72 hours,
We can also extend that if we wanted to. That's all internal policy. On average, it's 72 hours. That
Okay.
would be recommended, but we can.
well, I mean, however long it takes,
Right,
right? I
yeah.
mean, you know, we don't want to drag our heels, obviously, and hold up people's closings. I just want to say that I'm in favor of this. I've seen it in other communities, and you name a lot of the benefits in here, why it would be good. I know from having been on the plan commission, someone comes in for a variance, and half the time, they had no idea that they needed it, that it was, they think it was quote-unquote grandfathered in. Would things like that fall under the scope of what would be looked at? Perhaps just even the obvious ones, you know?
Yeah,
It
so-
wouldn't, if it was an open violation, it would be, so if somebody had put up a fence illegally and we had a violation and then they went to sell it, it would. They're not gonna get a full zoning, building code review of every property, cause that can't really be accomplished in 72 hours.
Well, that's what I was,
And we're not gonna go into people's homes and properties and start doing that. So it is, but if something's open or known, it'll come up as part of the process.
or if there was an obvious one.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm in favor of this. I think it's important, how we communicate it out, though. 'Cause when people saw the draft, agenda is already, being misconstrued out there, so. I think this is good, and putting it on the seller, I think is the appropriate, place.
Very good. Any other questions?
I do. So this implementation of the, so when is that supposed to take place? If this was to pass, when is this implementation supposed to start?
I think Anthony's almost done
Yeah.
with the ERP solution, right?
So
In terms
I
of
know
the
we're,
ERP.
Yeah.
So I believe, and Anthony, is Anthony in the room? So I believe we're slated as early as, to potentially begin the implementation as early as March of 2024, but that can be an 18 to 24-month process before we even go live. So it's an ongoing process. The soonest would be March of 2024, but again, at that point in time, we're just beginning to start the transfer, so it's not like we'd be going live just yet. So assumably, it would be even further pushed out from there.
Okay.
And part of the reason why this is coming to you now and not then is because we need to know if we need to build in more months to build build something for our current process, which isn't very good, or if we can just kind of go with what the software has. So Anthony needs a little bit of the direction that'll come out of this process.
And then the fees involved in this, that will start once it's implemented
Yeah.
fully? Okay, and then last question, can you give me a ballpark of what kind of money has been left on the table? Just kind of, there was nothing to kind of back that up to know if this is something that we want to pass on this cost.
We can definitely get numbers to give you an idea of that. We don't have any right in front of us. It's a great question. What I can say from experience, and Laura will know too, is that we get a lot of FOIAs from buyers or sellers, and so the FOIAs come in, and then once they see there is money on the table, we get requests constantly to waive all these fees from the buyers, because the buyers are, it wasn't there, it was the seller who had these fees or violations or outstanding things owed to the village, and then it becomes the seller or the buyer's problem. So we're constantly leaving money on the table, if you will,
Okay.
by waiving these fees, trying to, entice people and help the buyers out a little bit, and encouraging them to kind of go ahead and move forward with their processes. So we can absolutely get that info and get
Okay.
it to the board too.
And I know some of them we can't collect. We've worked with our attorneys before on a few situations. There's some that we can't collect from the buyer. So we'd have to go find the seller somewhere who's gone already and try and
Okay.
get the
So
money
it's just
from them. And
a
when it's a
extra
couple.
layer of protection of who's ever buying the home.
Yeah.
If I may speak on behalf of Public Works, it is very typical for people to sell their home in Tinley and leave the state and leave the buyer with a nice water bill for them as a welcome home present. It's very common for us.
Oh, so that's part of it too, the whole big picture of the water bills and everything, okay.
And we're not asking for this to go today. It'll be on the next board meeting, so we can always maybe see if we can come up with like some number to give you some
Okay.
idea on it.
All right, thank you.
At a minimum, though, the fees you're proposing, you expect that to be revenue neutral? It should cover the costs of administration?
Yeah, there is some It's basic, it may not even cover 100% of staff time, but I think the hope is that the actual, again, the computer system we have is gonna hopefully automate a lot of it. But if we implemented it now without the system, it'd probably be negative. But with the computer system in place and kind of automating, sending stuff out and everything being automatic should work out.
Makes perfect sense. And probably after you do a little analysis of that, it probably is paying for itself.
Well, John, just to reiterate your point there, I know in the real estate business that Tinley's kind of infamous for requiring a paid receipt for the water bills. Has it been a lot of them, has like they slipped through the cracks, or is it as part of closing packages? I know that, everyone's like, oh, Tinley, make sure that they have a paid water bill before you get to closing, so.
So currently, to the point of what Dan and his team are trying to accomplish here is without a transfer stamp, the closing company, it's pretty much their onus, whether it be the closing title company or the buyer or the seller to make that phone call. And if they don't do that, you're gonna have a new, a new homeowner that comes into the office, does a transfer into their name with the new water bill, and there could be an outstanding, water bill sitting there. And, as it was mentioned earlier, that, they try to request a fee waiver, so there is a cost to the village for not having that transfer stamp. Talking to my peers, it's been a discussion for a couple of years in my circle that, Tinley Park not having a transfer stamp, we really don't have a lot of, hold on these residents that are doing this. They'll sell the house, move to another state, and, good luck chasing them down for a
Right.
couple $100 bill.
Right.
And that's reliant, if there are some good real estate agents that know Tinley Park and are protecting their clients and the seller, and there's some newer people and people that aren't in town that are involved in it, and there's also been an increase in kind of people buying and selling homes, particularly during COVID, that was just by seller,
Right.
by owner sales, that unless somebody has that knowledge to come ask us, they don't do it. So
Right.
the local real estate realtors usually will know it.
Right,
But if you're
right.
going with anyone else, it's whether they make a call or not. to
Sure,
us.
yeah, okay. Well,
Got one more comment, Bill,
yeah,
if it's okay.
and just to Ken's point, I think you said social media was buzzing about it. It's not a transfer tax. I think, is that what you were alluding to earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a tax, it's a
Yeah.
fee, it's an administrative fee.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead, trustee Miller.
Just one more thing that I wanted to bring up. I think having this in place is gonna give us protection for the person that bought the property. Like, having a first experience with the village that's negative because you owe money or you find out that you're not in compliance with something is just a horrible way to start this process off. The other thing I was gonna mention, I'd like to see it a little lower on the residential or come up with like a cap, but it sounds like we've got some time to talk through some of those things. So I just, on the residential side, I think it's important to have. I don't think that we should be as stringent on the pricing for it. So I'd like to see that kind of capped off for our residential folks.
Sure, we can look at that. I don't know if I've seen one be different between residential and commercial, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. So we'll look into that. And then the $2, I think we decided the average was $3.
Yeah, on average, you're looking
right?
at
The
$3
average was
per
about
every
$3,
1,000.
So we went with about 2. It was just kind of a feeler. We're not trying to make a bunch of money off this. We're just trying to cover an amount. So, but we'll take a look at that and
Yep.
get back to you at the next meeting.
It's like a $400,000 house, you're asking for $800 from the seller. Do I have that math correct?
Yeah, roundabout. The more your house, the
Yeah.
more you're gonna pay in the fee,
Yeah.
because it's based on the value of your home.
Yep, so I'd like to see it just kind of capped out at some point, and we just have it in place, and, we don't have to be onerous on them.
Sure. Can look at that.
So there's no number associated with passing this tonight? There's not,
No, we'll just, if you guys can move it to the next
Yeah,
meeting,
okay.
and we'll try and draft everything and get it ready for you there.
okay, very good. Thank you, Dan. Any other questions before we move on?
Good.
Okay. Is there a motion to move item number 7 to the village board?
I'll make that motion.
For October 3rd.
Yes, for October 3rd. Trustee Sullivan, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, trustee Shaw. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Roll call for item 7, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes,
Very good. Motion carries. Thank you, Jarrell.
thank you.
Thanks, Jarrell. Staying up there.
Item number 8,
Got a few
discuss
items.
contract with Total Parking Solutions for the purchase of electronic parking meters. Jarrell?
All right, so as we continue to see increased traffic and activity at our commuter parking lots and at the Oak Park Avenue and 80th Avenue locations, we've recognized the need to improve parking efficiency and expand options for our commuters. To address these challenges, we proposed a transition from the existing manual honor box system to a fully automated digital parking system. The benefits of this transition would be increased commuter options. The transition to an automated platform would allow us to open up the downtown parking lots for our businesses to daily pay commuters, providing more flexibility in payment and parking options. It would also support our local businesses who are open during those permit-only hours, which is between 5 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. right now. And so if we go daily pay, they will be able to utilize those lots at the commuter fee. There will be efficient payment options by eliminating the honor boxes. Commuters will be able to pay conveniently through kiosks, mobile applications, or even text messaging. And then there would also be some internal benefit to streamline enforcement. The new automated system would be based on license plate rather than the pay-by-space setup that we currently have at the 80th Avenue station, which would eliminate the need for manual processes. So the firm that we went along with was, we went with what we're presenting, Total Parking Solutions. They bring over 35 years of experience, and they have a municipal client list of over 50 municipalities in Illinois alone. Their comprehensive offering, streamlined payment, permitting, and enforcement, making ease of use a central focus of their business operations, and they have given us the best service for the price point that we were seeking. So we did obtain a quote from them through the Suburban Purchasing Cooperatives Joint Purchasing Program, and the proposal does include the purchase of 10 parking payment kiosks for all the commuter lots, which totals a total cost of $114,850, which does include all first-year costs, which is equipment purchases, service and maintenance, and all integration fees necessary. After this first year cost, there would be about an annual cost of $26,200, which would cover our back office software, annual service, and maintenance agreements. Yeah, so any questions?
Any questions for Jarrell?
I did.
Go ahead, Trustee Shaw.
The scope of the parking spaces, is it strictly the Metro commuter lots?
At this time, yes.
Okay. Is the system scalable and configurable so that if we, in the future, wanted to add on-street parking, for example?
Yes.
It's just a matter of
It'd
adding
just be a matter
another
of
slot?
adding more
in there?
meters, or maybe individual space meters if like we were to do it for the on-street parking spaces.
Right. Good.
Just a question. So this isn't changing the hours, so people at night, on a Friday night, they can still park there for free. It doesn't change anything like that. It's just the new
It-
system to
it'll just be
make
the way
it
that
modern.
they- yeah,
No origami, shoving it in a, okay, I love that.
We're kind of one of the last,
I don't.
the last around doing this. So we're just kind of moving to the 21st century with
Yeah.
parking options. So.
Perfect.
So we still anticipate, it still gives the option, like you can go there and actually pay with cash. Or I think a lot of people, if you're a regular commuter, you're already probably buying your Metro tickets on your phone, and you're just gonna buy parking on your phone as well. So
Okay.
So if I read it correctly, though, this would be eliminating the permit parking in the Oak Park Avenue station.
Well, it would be by permit only. We would still offer in bulk parking. So if people wanted to purchase, 30 days worth of parking at a discounted rate, that'd be an option.
Oh, so it wouldn't
It wouldn't be your
open
traditional
parking?
permit. It will be open parking in the lot, but it won't be a traditional permit-only system. Like you have to come to Village Hall and get a hang tag for it. You would just purchase 30 days worth of parking and you can park in the downtown or 80th Avenue lots.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Very good. Any other questions? All right. Is there a motion to move item number 8 to the village board?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Trustee Shaw.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Trustee Mueller. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 8, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good, that motion will carry. Item number 9, discuss commuter parking regulation changes. Terrell?
All right, so this is going to be in tandem with the transition to electronic parking meters. We just need feedback on changing the current lot designations that are for Oak Park Avenue to be a part of the daily pay instead of the by permit only. And there's also a request to increase the commuter parking fee from $1.50 per day to $2 per day with the option to buy monthly parking at a rate of $30. The current fee of $1.50 for parking has remained fairly stagnant, hasn't been changed in over 10 years. Meanwhile, we are still dealing with increased costs and inflationary pressures to maintain the parking lot. So, we just want to make sure that the increase to $2 would be, just fulfill the enterprise's fund's purpose of being self-sustaining.
Very good. Thank you, Terrell. Any questions?
I just want to comment, my question on the other one, I actually jumped ahead. That question was about this one.
Gotcha.
But you answered it, so we're good.
If I may or may not have a lot of the little cards already in my car, do I get to keep using those?
The parking tokens, we will have a implementation period where we will get through that and work through that.
Yeah.
And you
yeah.
can use them, yes.
Got a lot.
Better get going to Chicago. Yeah, well, there'll be transitionary periods
And
and
buy some, yeah,
policies,
once a
so
month.
they'll be able to be used for a while.
All right.
You photocopying them?
No, I bought a lot right before COVID started and just, they sat there.
That's what happened. No, I'm kidding. Any other questions? No? Is there a motion to move item number 9 to the village board?
I'll make a motion to make my parking stickers obsolete at some point.
I'll second that.
Thank you, trustee Mueller. Thank you, trustee Brady. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 9, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. That motion will carry. Item number 10, the annual insurance renewal for our benefits package. Angela?
In terms of our employee benefits program, annually we go out for comprehensive renewal for competitive pricing for our medical, dental, vision, and life insurance benefits. We work with the Horton Group. We have representatives, Mike Ojek and Beth Ishmael, our county executive, here tonight as well. In summary, the memo and our market analysis was provided. The medical benefit overview initially came in at a 12.10%. Which after further analyzation by the Horton Group was successfully renegotiated down to approximately a 6.3%. We continue to focus on how we can continue to maintain a high level of benefits that are affordable. So looking at a benefit strategy of continuing to promote consumerism, focusing on prevention and wellness in our plans, explored some options, including evaluating a high deductible health plan, which is a health plan that an employee pays a higher level of deductible up front and encourages consumerism in maintaining and getting health benefits. With that, we were able to get a quote from Blue Cross Blue Shield to introduce an in-network 3,200, 6,400 family embedded high deductible health plan that would further impact the overall renewal and reduce the medical premium to an increase of slightly over 5% across the board, with just the introduction of a fourth plan option and only for our non-union employees. With a 10% migration anticipated to the new high deductible health plan, that would reduce the renewal even further down to a 4.46% from a medical plan perspective. In terms of that as an option for non-unions, that would provide an additional medical option for them and their families, that they would have to take initiative and understand medical plan expenses, understand consumerism with a focus on education that we would have to provide to them to take advantage of that plan. With that comes a health savings account, which is generally an interest-bearing checking account where they can save for future medical expenses. The money that's in that account is owned by the employee, and they use that to meet the high deductible plan, deductible. With that being said, seeding of a health savings account is an option that's available to help encourage that migration, as the employees are responsible for that high deductible upfront. Typically, we see 1,000 single, 2,000 family funding from the employer in public sector. So there's a recommendation to move forward with an HSA seed to encourage that migration to that plan. In terms of the other benefits that were renewed during this period or reviewed for renewal during this period, our dental benefits, we recently switched to a new provider, MetLife. We are at a cap lock of 6% with them. So we are looking to continue to move forward and stay with them. Other dental providers declined to quote at this time. Our vision benefit renewal came in at only the 2.95%. And then the other thing that we also evaluated during this period was the premium sharing. We are recommending an increase to premium sharing for our non-unions to go from 12% to 14% for our medical and dental plans, with the 3% premium share recommendation for anyone who was to enroll in the high deductible health plan for non-unions. So in summary, looking kind of at our plan from a benefit strategy perspective of promoting consumerism, focusing on prevention to help keep claim losses down, as well as wellness initiative throughout the benefit plan year 2024. Moving forward with this package, including the introduction of the high deductible health plan, will provide another option for our non-union employees and benefit the village financially in offering this this plan. So if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, or one of our representatives from the Horton Group can certainly help answer any questions as well.
Very good. Thank you, Angela. That was good. I'm in favor of the HSAs. I think it's a really good tool for employees and individuals covered by these plans. It's your money. You can keep it later in retirement. I think it's a huge option. I currently take advantage of it myself. So, but I appreciate you introducing that option as well. So, any other questions or comments from the rest of the board?
Completely agree.
Agreed.
Mr. Shaw?
Yeah, I'm fully on board with the high deductible and the HSA. I'm a big proponent of that. I want to ask a couple questions about the numbers for expected migration to 10%. What approximately, what does that represent? How many people?
That will represent, just bear with me for 1 second here, of our non-unions. 9? Yeah, 9 non-unions. And we also have the library on our benefit plan, so there's an anticipated migration for the library as well. And I believe those numbers are 2, so a total of 11, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
And the estimate of 10%, what is that based on? Is that just industry experience or?
Mike, do you want to speak to that?
Good evening. Thank you for
Good evening.
the opportunity to be here and also to represent you. We work a lot in the municipal space. About 25 of our clients, 75% of them have HSAs. And they also do the seed, et cetera. And looking at the total industry, that's on par. We start off, 10% is actually a low number, but it starts off slow because of communication, takes a while to build the interest, the knowledge that's needed. It's really a simple plan once you get to use it, and see it, and feel it. But it offers so many advantages to the individual and also to the plan itself. So it is a great addition to your program. 10%, we see that exceeding, but that's on par with any other group that we started, just started an HSA program.
Okay. Do you have numbers for what the expected migration would be without a seeding program?
It's very dismal. We don't, we've tried it years ago. HSAs have been around for 20 years. Most of them have started off with seeds. Occasionally along the way, someone would want to take it away or not offer a seed. It would have very little, if any, participation. The seed factor does a major boost to the interest.
Okay. And is that, is the proposal to be a one-time seed, or is that anytime during
It would
open
be
enrollment?
ongoing annually, and that could be done either, depending upon how you want to fund that.
Yeah, to encourage initial migration, the recommendation is to do it annually and evaluate that and see kind of how that impacts the migration and also, the cost to the village over time and maybe be reevaluated. I think having implemented a high deductible health plan before, my experience, I feel like we need to give it a 3-year period to see, to educate, have some transition and migration over, evaluate how it's working, evaluate fully seating to allow employees to have a level of security that they have funds available at the beginning of the plan year to cover expenses, whether they're anticipated or unexpected expenses, is a huge plus. So initially, the recommendation is upfront in January.
If I could just add, keep in mind the plan itself has a lower premium, which helps offset that seed, the cost of the seed. So that, and again, that had an overall impact on all of our negotiations, that we were able to bring it down from 6.2 to 5% basically, because of the addition of the HSA plan. The underwriter said, okay, this group is getting on with kind of trying to improve their overall outlook on healthcare. That's where healthcare is going. So it's trying to get that member involved more, and it's a perfect plan that does it.
Is that savings dependent on a certain migration percentage?
No, that question was asked. It's a good question.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it.
Angela, real quick while Mike's still here, is what's the cost of our standard PPO plan to the village as opposed to for a family, I guess?
For a family?
If you could do comparison's sake, yeah, for one family as opposed to an HSA plan.
I believe off the top of my head, and I don't know, Beth, if you have the contribution worksheet, I think it's 2,000. The PPO currently versus HSA. So with assumed migration, the 5.50% increase PPO family would be $2,857 full premium. The high deductible would be $2,395 full premium.
Okay, very good. Okay. I just wanted that for the rest of the board, so, all right, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, any other questions?
Nope, very good.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to move item number 10 to the village board?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, trustee Shaw. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, trustee Mueller. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 10, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good, that motion carries. Discuss the behavioral health program. Angela?
As part of the overall strategy for benefits, one of the things that we've been tasked with is really understanding how our plan is performing and are we providing the right type of benefits that our employees need. With COVID and the pandemic over the past few years, there's been a heightened awareness of the need for mental health benefits for emotional, psychological, and social well-being in general. And we want to make sure that our employees and their families have the types of benefits available to them when they need them. We currently offer an employee assistance program, and we currently have comprehensive mental health benefits as part of our medical plan. What we've identified is there is a different way that behavioral health or mental health benefits are available. And with the changing landscape, we've identified a program, the Teladoc Mental Health Complete Program, that could add value and provide an added level of benefits that our employees can take advantage of through a virtual program, no cost to them, and have direct virtual teletherapy or virtual telepsychiatrist care by licensed health professionals at any time with unlimited visits to help fill in the gaps that exist today with obtaining mental health benefits through perhaps, a brick and mortar office environment that could take numerous months to schedule visits, whereas access to online appointments and whatnot through a program such as this can be completed in as little as 5 to 7 days. We did see an upward trend in annualized claims for the medical plan for these types of benefits, so we do know that a need does exist, and we want to be able to address it for our employees. So the implementation of this plan would be in addition to our EAP, which would be for immediate needs as they come up. This would be kind of scheduled virtual visits, unlimited, without the need to pay for plan expenses, medical plan expenses such as a copay to remove any financial barriers to obtain services for employees, their family members, and even their children as young as 13, should they need services as well. The medical plan benefits would not change at all. They would remain intact as is, and employees would just have one more option for services for their mental health needs.
Very good. Thank you, Angela. Any questions?
No,
Like a
I
great
think-
program.
Yeah, it's a great benefit to have,
Yeah, I agree.
much needed.
Mr. Shaw?
Nope.
Sure?
I could make something up.
All right, very good. Thank you, Angela. Is there a motion to move item number 11 to the village board?
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Thank you-
second.
Thank you, trustee Mueller. Thank you, trustee Brady. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 11, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes,
Motion carries. Item number 12, discuss contract with Midwest Mechanical for Public Works Garage Air Station Compressor Unit Emergency Replacement. John?
Yes, sir, thank you. This is for a request for the board to make an emergency purchase of a compressor that not only operates the tools at the Public Works Garage, but is a backup for the dry system for the fire protection in the apparatus floor. The reason it's being requested as an emergency, we had failures recently that have caused us to need to make a purchase of a replacement. We are asking to defer a earlier request for the budget for a rooftop condensing unit, that we can prioritize this over and defer to next year's budget. As you can see, we got a couple quotes, the lowest being for the amount of $39,890 from Midwest Mechanical. Asking for committee and board approval for this.
Very good. Thank you, John. Any questions from John? For John?
None.
Is there none? Is there a motion to move item number 12 to the village board?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, trustee Miller. Is there a second?
a second.
Thank you, trustee Sullivan. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 12, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes,
Very good. Motion carries. Item number 13, discuss contract with McGill Construction LLC for the 2023 Municipal Parking Lot Improvements Project. John?
Yes, sir, thank you. This actually goes hand in hand with some of the things Jarrell was bringing to you earlier today. As you can see, for us to do some maintenance on some of our municipal parking lots, we had a bid that go out. We had a very good turnout of qualified contractors. The engineer's estimate was for $639,000. Our low bid from, excuse me, from McGill was at $597,744.52. asking for committee and following board approval.
Thank you, John. Any questions for John?
Good.
Nothing? Nothing? Is there a motion to move item number 13 to village board?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you,
I'll
trustee
second.
Mueller. Thank you, trustee Shaw. Madam Clerk, could you call the roll, please?
Roll call for item 13, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Moving on. Item number 14, discuss contract with Christopher B. Burke Engineering for Post 3 standby generator installation professional engineering services. John?
Yes, sir, thank you again. This is for a request for purchasing a standby generator at Post 3, that is the one on 175th Street, just west of Harlem Avenue in the park area. Currently, we do not have a generator on site, and at times of ComEd failure, we have flooded the area due to the fact that the stormwater was not able to be pumped further down the line. This is requested for a contract with Christopher Burke to design the bid package and the requirements for that generator for that site.
Very good. Thank you, John. Any questions? I see none. Is there a motion to move item number 14 to village board?
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Thank-
second.
Thank you, trustee Mueller. Thank you, trustee Brady. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for item 14, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries. Item number 15, receive comments from the public. Is there anyone that would like to address the committee of the whole? Do you want to address the committee, or did you want to address the?
to address the whole village board if I can.
Okay, you can do that now, or you can wait till the village board meeting, which will follow preceding this meeting.
Oh, okay,
Okay, all right, very good.
thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, trustee Shaw.
A second.
Thank you, trustee Sullivan. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roll call for adjournment, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Very good. We are adjourned at 6:56 PM.